Yo, what's up? My name is Patrouski, and we are back on PokePath Tower Defense, or PokePath TD, which is, in my opinion, the best Pokemon fan game we've seen since PokeRogue. This is seriously such a well-balanced, fun game. I've been like really excited, like kind of jibber-jabbering, talking to my wife, like I can't wait to play more of this game, record more of this game. So finally today, I have the time. Let's go ahead and jump into it. We have only an hour played so far, which is crazy. You can see so many statistics over this little profile page. You can even see stolen gold by Persian. What an interesting one. I'm curious to see how long progress takes, how far you can actually take this game, where you can get to. If you haven't seen episode 1, check it out. There should be a link in the description, as well as if you aren't playing this game, check out the link in the description. I really genuinely think this game is a ton of fun. As someone who has put tens of thousands of hours into Pokemon fan-made games, I think this is one of the better ones. And it's funny to judge it so harshly only an hour in, but I think in my opinion, I could be wrong, not to literally encourage though, yeah, judge a book by its cover, but I think you can do that to a decent degree once you've played enough, you know, Pokemon MMOs, Pokemon fan-made games. I think there are just certain systems in place you really start to learn and start to acknowledge, and we can actually just go ahead and start spamming through this. We're at this stage of our progress where we actually have pretty decently strong Pokemon. We don't have to switch things around. We can just spam through a lot of these waves up until wave 15 or so, maybe wave 20. We're trying to get 25 stars or get to wave 25 complete so we can move on to unlock something and move to the next level. Honestly, not totally sure yet. I'm just curious to see how long it takes and what this journey kind of looks like to the average player. But go ahead and feel free to just throw this up on your second monitor and play some Pokemon Tower Defense. I always tell people that I like to try to make the content that I like to watch, and I love to get sucked into a hobby, consumed by something, and have it up on multiple monitors while also playing that thing. So if you're in a similar vein, maybe consider liking the video and subscribing. But let's see how many Geodudes we can take care of. We have one Chingling coming in here, 5 Rattatas. We're at wave 10. We've had 0 problems. This is an absolute cakewalk now that we've made this severe progress. All right, wave 11 became our first, I was going to say issue, but this Geodude was taken out at this fine corner. So we're mostly fine still so far. I'm going to look to slow things down a little bit here and there. These Doduos are getting cooked. All right, things are getting a little bit sketchy here. I might want to start moving some Pokemon around here. I'm going to go ahead and actually move my Spoink, I guess, down here. We can move my Froakie, I guess. Actually, Froakie should be in the water right over here. That's a much better spot, I think. Cloudster is fine where it's at. Gulpin can go ahead and get moved. Spinda can get moved for temporarily, but I have to reposition everything after that wave. Ooh, but it's going to auto go to the next wave, so I have to be a little bit more intentional. Whoopsie. On my replacements here, Gulpin is on my 4 slot. We'll move him there. That's totally fine. We look good. Look how fast the duos were actually speeding along. One of those mons with that high. Let's go check its speed, actually. Speed is 2 versus Chingling being 1.2. Doduo literally double as fast as most other mons. All right, positioning fixed. I'm going to go ahead and turn off auto for the time being. We made it up to wave 16, just spamming through things really easily, but we might need to make a few bit more adjustments mid-wave now. And whoa, my gold went up to a shit ton out of nowhere. 2,300 Pokeyen. I really just want to get to wave 25. I'm loving the just power of my Spinda. I really feel like the Spinda, I did not expect range to be like that powerful of an effect, but it has felt insane throughout this. So I'm going to go ahead and give 5 level ups to Spinda, which is a fair bit of my Pokeyen, 700 my Pokeyen, but I do want to put a lot of level ups over into Froakie and then over into Spoink. I do feel like Froakie has felt decently weak. I don't feel super great about him, but maybe he'll get better with level ups and has like better scaling towards the end game, and that's why he's a starter Pokemon. I wouldn't put it past the devs at this point where like everything feels so intentional and so well balanced. We're gonna put 5 levels into Spoink over here. A Grumpig at 32 would go hard. Once again, very focusing a lot of my strategy on like single target boss stuff. I haven't had a problem with AoE. I guess Spinda and Froakie are kind of my AoE attackers. They can beat down a bunch of mons all at once. And then Absol, Spoink, and Clauncher, not Clawitzer, Clauncher are all like good single target damage dealers. I guess the biggest thing is the Gulpin's also kind of AoE, but the Gulpin's probably my weakest Pokemon on the team. I feel like he's a mon where if I had other poison synergies, maybe that would work out a lot better. So I actually want to check my boxes and see if this that is replaceable, or if I could just go ahead and buy a new Pokemon. I guess I do have like a fair bit of like, in terms of Pokeyen to how much the eggs cost right now. You know what? It's been a long time. Let's buy a new Pokemon. Cranidos, it was meant to be. For those who don't know, Cranidos is actually, or Rampardos rather, my second favorite Pokemon. Are you kidding me? We're going to remove, I love you, JDB Tree. Thank you for your service. We're going to add in Cranidos. We also have 3 Pokemon unnamed. So let's go ahead and fix that. Hiroshi, welcome to the squad. Miro MMO, congrats on being a Spinda. And shout out to an underrated up-and-comer, Suxley. Congrats, you are the clauncher. Also, I don't know what I pressed, but now all of my Pokemon are showing all of their ranges. That's a really cool thing to know and to be able to see, but I don't know how I turned it on and how to turn it off. Ooh, you can also turn on the health numbers of the monsters coming in. I'm going to put that on always. Ah, it is X. I would have never guessed that. I had to go into the settings and double check, but if you press X, you can actually see all of the attack ranges on your Pokemon. That's a really good thing, though, to be able to see all at once. It really helps you plan your battle strategy. We can see my Cranidos right here, and speaking of, level 30 is the evolution. We can put one level up into him for now. I'm guessing he is going to be similar to, like, kind of my strategy of single target. I usually like to go a lot of AoE damage in most games, but I feel like in Pokemon Tower Defenses, they love to do sicko mode bosses where it's one giant fucking Dynamax beast who just has a trillion HP. So I'm kind of trying to plan around that strategy. Increases damage by 5% for each missing heart. Oh my, you're taking my heart out of my chest, Rampardos. I love high risk, high reward strategies. That could be, ooh. I mean, that could even be like, I don't know how much so there's 16, let's do some calculations. So if we have 3, 6, 7, 14 HP, 14 HP, we can lose 13 of it without actually being dead, right? So you would do 13 times 5. You can increase your damage on this Cranidos by 65% if you're at 1 HP. So then there becomes a question of, is it possible even to get a team of all the same Pokemon? Could you potentially get a team of 6 Rampardoses with this ability, be at 1 HP and just absolutely go to town? This is the kind of ability that screams to me like this could be a speedrunner strat type shit. You know, this could be something very powerful for speedruns or certain specific challenges. Maybe I'm overrating. 65% feels pretty good, but doesn't feel busted, to be fair. So maybe it's actually just totally in line. I'm really curious, like this game is so fresh and so new, and I've seen so little content in terms of what can happen at the end game. I'm curious to explore myself. How far can we take this game? What can we like, what level can our Pokemon get? How many evolutions? Can we get shinies? I haven't even thought about or like, you know, even pursued that yet. What is possible in the end game of this game? How many bosses are there? How many hours could I sink into this and have fun every single step of the way? We are already back to wave 20. This has been an absolute freaking cakewalk. We've also lost 0 HP at this point, which is just, once again, so freaking crazy. I'm going to try to move around a few more Mons here where I can. We'll move Spoink over here. Absol, for example, is now totally out of range. Or sorry, that was Spinda. Actually, I moved on accident. Whoopsie. Absol's in our 3 slot. We have to relearn our slots and our hotkeys now that it's been a few days since I last played, so it's a new session. We're now at 635 Pokeyen. I'm going to go ahead and buy another Pokemon. I'm going to start like not being afraid and just buy a few more Pokemon. I think my thought process being that, like, once again, you need all different types of Pokemon that do all different types of strategies. I'm sure you'll need different things that work against different bosses. So maybe variety isn't so bad. I do want to go check. It doubles its speed if it's in the water. Doubles its like attack speed. Gotcha. That's a pretty powerful, you know, a lot of the abilities feel pretty strong. That, to be fair, does feel so much better than like the Rim. That makes me feel like Cranidos is actually not that good, but you know what? Who cares? I love this Pokemon, man. I also don't know if the ability changes when the Pokemon evolves. We have a lot to learn, and the only way to learn is to keep making progress and keep gaming. Let's see how this next wave plays out. This is where we actually lost last time. This is where we got stuck. So let's see. Let me slow things down a sec so we can actually properly tackle this challenge and see where it takes us. I want to wait until these Raticates move before we actually start moving Pokemon, but I do need to now go ahead and move our Spoink, move our Absol here in a quick sec. We can move it over here, actually. Let's do that. Same with the Spoink. I'll probably end up moving the Spoink a little bit over here. That's totally fine. Cranidos needs to be quick moved. I'm just moving a lot of stuff, actually. We're just going to move everything we can. Is this Chingling really going to live? Oh, that's annoying. I really thought I was greedy. I was too slow. I just thought we had it. I thought I had it. I should have moved quicker. Man, that was a bummer. That's okay. We only lost 1 HP off of that, and I guess the upside is our Cranidos. Actually, that was actually on purpose, guys. Excuse me. That was totally intentional. I was trying to increase my Rampardos' damage, of course. All right, I hate to say it, but I do already feel a little bit, maybe it's in my head, but I already feel like the team is a little bit weaker now that I have Cranidos on it. I kind of think the Gulpin was not that strong either, to be fair, but let's see, like, where are my attacks? I guess like little Fireball. I can't even tell if the Cranidos is getting attacks off. What is his attack speed? Recharge is 2.9. It's a pretty slow attacker, and I don't think it's doing all that much damage. I think it did like 40 or so in an attack. It just does not seem like it's going to be that good. I do need to make some quick switches here where possible. Let's go ahead and move that around really quick. I'm going to move our Spoink over here. I'm going to move our Cranidos over here. Our Spinda is, ooh, we're actually running into major problems here. Excuse me. I'm gonna move our Clawitzer down here to hopefully help out. Move this down here. This is gonna get really sketchy really fast, unfortunately. Spinda should be in a good spot. I'm doing the best I can, but man, this is where I lost last time. Is this wave just incredibly hard? Look, my HP is getting fucking pinched down incredibly quickly. At least I got the one Bellsprout down. At least we took out like 2 of those. Oh my goodness. I went from having no problems to being fucking crushed by a giant in 2 seconds, man. Oh, that was just a tough wave. And it seems like wave 22 might be a bit of a rest wave. It seems like wave 21 might potentially like specifically be a stopgap on purpose. I'm going to keep putting some love into our Spinda. I think it's the main mon that is carrying me right now, even though it will never evolve. Let's go ahead and continue on to this next wave. This wave does look significantly easier, so I'm hoping it's a bit of a rest, which is crazy, like the wave afterwards being easier, but that's an interesting, once again, like specific intentional design and balancing choices is what I'm noticing here. This is not just a sloppily thrown together Pokemon fan-made game. You could even argue, and I love Pokemon Tower Defense, don't get me wrong, and I think some of the like extreme difficulty in some of the design choices in PTD were like, you could argue like part of the charm, like it wasn't a perfect game, but I would argue this is just, I love Pokemon Tower Defense. I have so much nostalgia. I think this is just a better game. I think this is just Pokemon Tower Defense but kind of upgraded, which is a crazy sentence, you know, to say. And I'm just so excited. The main thing I worry about is the longevity, I guess, but that's something that I think too many gamers, and I myself, talking about myself worrying about it, worry about way too soon. If you're enjoying a game, you don't need to panic. You don't need to oh, will it last forever? Am I going to enjoy this game forever? You're not going to enjoy most things in life forever. Just enjoy the moment. Have fun. Set a weekend or a week aside and just get sucked into PokePath TD and enjoy your time after work. Enjoy, you know, your holiday break, whatever it may be, and just have a blast. That's what I intend to do, man. I like the idea of making some guides for this game and exploring like what you can do. Once again, there's just so much to do. And that's the other exciting element of like a new, fresh Pokemon fan-made game is like it's exploring the same Pokemon that you know and you love, but in a whole new light. And I know I'm just rambling at this point, but this is kind of what I'm known for. I love to ramble. I love to express my feelings as genuinely and as earnestly out there as possible. It's kind of all I really know how to do. So we're going to go ahead and we have 1,100 gold here. I do want to either spend this on upgrades or buy some extra Pokemon. And since I'm struggling to get past this, I feel like upgrades have to be the play. Do I really want to... As I'm getting lower on HP, I mean, honestly, to be fair, we can go ahead and try to utilize Cranidos' ability. I'm gonna try my best, man. I don't know if it's worth to put level ups into this Pokemon, but you know what, since we're low on HP, it's gonna be good here or never be good, so we might as well try to take advantage of that, right? Let's see the damage coming out. Spinda's doing 22 per. I think Cranidos did 80. Spinda just does so, like, but Spinda's a lot more levels, to be fair, keep in mind. But I love the like tick 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 tick. The attack rate on Spinda also just goes bonkers. What is the recharge point 20? It just feels so nice, man. Froakie coming out. Like, Froakie's doing like nothing. Like, Spinda's doing 20. We can actually, now we have numbers on. Spinda's doing about 22 damage, it seems like, per tick. Froakie's doing like 13. And it's not, Froakie does not attack as fast. It's not as strong. It's just not as good in like literally every single way. And it's just not doing as much damage. How is that? You know, at least the other mons, like, oh yeah, they attach slower, they have less range than Spinda, all these things, but it's because they do more damage. Like Cranidos, that makes sense, right? Wait, yo, that was wave 25. I totally just zoned out. That was wave 25 completed. That's a huge fucking milestone. Okay, let's go into wave 26. Are you serious? 25 golden stars. I've got to go check like what I can buy with that or what that unlocks. I feel like that was a big moment. Let's go check the map. I guess we just already had 20. I guess, I don't know. I feel like I remember that being like a big milestone, but now I'm forgetting what the purpose even of that was. But we do have access to route 1 to 2. We might want to move on to the next map here pretty soon. But I really wanted to reach that milestone before fully moving on. I might need to move some Pokemon around here. Let's move our Spoink. Remember that our Absol is in 3 slot. Wave 26 defeated. From this point forward, I'm gonna go ahead and just put upgrades where I can, and I'm just gonna speed through things, and I'll see you guys when I'm basically ready to faint or ready to end this run. I'm gonna take it as far as I can get and see you guys with that progress, and then we'll move on to the next map and hopefully the next clip or so. All right, this is looking like it's it, boys. 20 Rattatas, 20 Raticates coming in. I think this might be too much for me to handle. Got all my mons. I can get upgrades, I guess, where I can. But yeah, there's going to be a few rats slipping through. That's going to be death, and that's okay. That's what it was. You can use retry to return to 25 with 7 lives. Okay. That's why I was trying to get to that point. Okay, so you can actually just retry. The question is, is it worth to do that? Should I just keep going? I'm fine to call it, I think. Or should I move? Let's click retry and then move on to the next map potentially. I don't think it costs like a resource to retry. You just get bumped up to wave 25. I'm cool with that. Now, on to the next map we go, Route 1-2. So we're going to have a whole new setup to analyze, figure out, like, where are the mountain spots? There are no water spots on this map. So this is where if I, like, leaned into that water strategy early on, I actually would have gotten punished right about now. So there's just so many things to factor in like that, which is really impressive. Once again, so much, like, purposeful, very, very purposeful. Also, this slot, you get barely a corner. You're only going to attack like 1 or 2 mons. Versus this slot, you'll get a bit more range. Versus this slot, like, if you don't have to put them in the mountain slots, it should be much better. Like, that's not going to get much attacks. So we can unlock further Pokemon slots as well. We probably should be prioritizing that a little bit more. It's any new waves you reach. So if I believe we can get like 12 waves here, which we should be pretty easy on the new map. Like, it should be like a decent difficulty reset. Then we can go ahead and unlock another Pokemon slot. And that would be huge for our just total power increase, as well as our usage of our mons over in our PC. I don't want mons sitting over here. I want to utilize them, you know? I do not know if this build is that good. I'm going to show you guys my overlap ranges. We have quite a few things overlapping. So we have our Clawitzer really up front here, which is going to be a little funny, but it can hit here as well as here. So I feel pretty good about it. I could arguably move Clawitzer. You know what? Maybe that actually is better to go ahead and just swap Clawitzer with Broky's positioning and have it be here and then here, just to get it, have it get an attack off a little bit sooner so that it can recharge a little bit sooner. I don't know if that'll actually make that much more of an impact, but we're going to go ahead and try that. And then I think just jump into this wave. The first wave is 24 Caterpies. We're going to obliterate these poor, stupid, dumb caterpillars. It's not their fault that they were born stupid. And that is a new gold star, man. Already a new gold star. So if we can just get 12 waves cranked out. Metapod's having a fair bit of shield, though. But if we can get 12 things cranked out, we could get a new Pokemon slot ASAP. We're already also up to 1,000 new gold. I'm going to put half of that into a new Pokemon, Anorith. Kind of an interesting, so very interesting typing Pokemon there with that bug rock that might help us get through. To be fair, as someone mentioned in the comments recently, I kind of semi-noticed, but I still, my Pokemon brain considers it. There is no type chart in this game. Type just does not matter at all. I'm going to turn off the auto wave. Whoopsie. Type just does not matter at all. It's much more about the tower defense synergies and strategies. But Anorith says, critical projectiles ricochet between enemies and keep ricocheting as long as they remain critical. Wow. So if you can get the critical, and you can raise the critical chance just a little bit there, you can see it's very little, you know, 0.05 or whatever, but that is pretty interesting. Is that just better Froakie? Are the starter Pokemon like purposefully really weak? Froakie just feels really bad, but maybe I'm just not putting enough love into him, and he's more of like a really consistent mon. I'd also love to see it get an evolution. Let's put some love into Froakie, even if they are pretty weak. I want to see our first evolution this episode. That has to happen, and that'll happen in 3 more levels here. So let's keep going on to the next wave. 32 stars, almost at that. We need 8 more waves. I do wish we saw more of like a giant boss ending after completing. Maybe we do. Maybe I just haven't gotten there, to be honest with you. Like, I assumed because I unlocked stage 2, oh, stage 1 is defeated, but maybe it's not. Maybe you have to get to like level 30, or maybe it's just infinite. And I like the idea of it being infinite. That's really cool, but maybe there should be some giant Raticate boss. Maybe there was, and I just didn't notice. Maybe there should be some very noticeable giant Raticate boss, and then it goes to like endless type mode after you defeat that. Maybe I just haven't seen that yet or haven't gotten there. Maybe it's a later wave on that wave 1, and you still just unlock later levels, even though you're not quite there. So 1-3 is going to be, it's funny, like we're going to have to go from, essentially it seems like we're going to go from Route 1-1 to Route 1-2 over to Route 2-1. Like, we're going to skip 1-3. Maybe you can't skip 1-3, and you actually have to earn these stars in these. I don't know how it works. We'll have to see. Once again, we're just learning in live time here. This game is so freaking new. It's only been around for a few months. New Pokemon coming in Venonat. Very speedy boy. I guess what it looked like it. 1.2 is the speed. I think the other mons in this map are just so slow in comparison. Like, Metapod's only 0.5, which is very, very, very slow. So it just looked a lot faster than what it actually is. These Pokemon also have regen, which is super interesting. So you do have to kill them in a period of time. Like, Venonat has 4 per second. That is a pretty significant HP regen. And I think it's how some of those Bellsprouts were able to sneak by previously, when I couldn't really check my damage numbers as well, because I didn't expect them to regenerate some HP. We're moving on to wave 10 here in a quick sec. We're just defeated wave 9, but before that, we do have our first evolution. Let's see if there's any animation, any sort of special effect. Nah, it just evolves, which is honest, like, it's fine for a Pokemon Tower Defense game. I kind of expect that. Honestly, with a game like this, you probably wouldn't want to watch every single animation. People are probably getting so min-max and efficient where you just spam level ups on a new Pokemon. You like save up the gold, you catch a new Pokemon, and you just spam level. You want to get it to max power as soon as possible. I don't have to sit through cheesy little level up screens. But I don't feel like I see like that huge of a power increase there, which is good to know. At least I didn't notice anything personally. So you know what? We're going to take a break from our boy Frogadier over here and just put some love into other Pokemon now. We tested for the sake of science, and we learned it may not be as good as we think it is. Should we put a little more love into its Clauncher? Like, somehow, this thing's really cheap to level up. I know it's like a very specific Pokemon, but we still have it on the team. We probably need to spread love a little bit more. Spinda is really doing most of our work, and he needs a little bit more support. 3 more levels, though, and we unlock a new slot. Oh, this is the first time I've been running into issues. We have some Venonats speeding through. I'm going to try to reposition some Pokemon to kill them, but it's not really working as well as I would like. Oh, no. At least we took down some. We still lost like 5 hearts of HP there, unfortunately. And that was a skill issue. I wasn't quick enough to the draw. I didn't expect that to be the wave where things start to break through. I need 1 more wave complete. All right, I don't have time for more goofy mistakes like that. We've got to lock in and see if we can we have to make sure we can get this wave completed. We've got 7 nose passes, 14 Venonats. These are a tough Pokemon to KO from what I've noticed. These things are really seriously a problem. I have to put some serious attention into them. Oh, this is going to be tough. I have to like put some upgrades into level ups like at instant speed here. This is going to be really tough. Michael, I need to like move my Clawitzer. Wait, Clawitzer can't even go anywhere. What? Oh, I'm going to lose for sure. No, that sucks. That can be there, I guess. This needs to be moved over here. There's not. Oh, this is interesting map design. Wait, did I actually save this? No shot. I thought that was cooked. But there's so little placements. You have to have all your mountain mons, you know, for other placements outside of these 4. There's no, I would have expected like 2 squares here in the middle. Nope. You have to rely on your mountain Pokemon. Damn, so positioning these up here. But then what if they go down the 2? Oh, there's 2 different exits for the Pokemon to take. We're on the 2nd map, and there's already like insane levels of strategy and adjustment. Whew, very difficult game. Once again, I'm just so shocked by the levels of complexity. Now, we do have a new slot unlocked. Let's go ahead. What do we want to put into that? I think Anorith could go hard. Let's go ahead and add him to the fray. All right, there's a good chance this is my final wave. We have Butterfreeze coming in, a new Pokemon. Let's see its main power, the HP pull, the total HP being 852. No regeneration, 14 gold per 1 defeated. The Venonats giving more. The Venonats give more gold than the Butterfreeze. Wow. Okay, I'm just gonna jump into this. I think it's where I'm gonna go ahead and just get cooked. We're going to try our best. These Venonats have decent HP reach. Look at that. That HP regen, which like slowly allows them to trickle back upwards and just escape certain damage ranges that you would normally expect. I need to make sure to move my Spinda and such where I need to. That's fine there. We're going to... Oh, we can't even... Once again, we can't even move it over there. I need to move mountain Pokemon where I can. I think it's too late, though. The Spinda can still reach the Butterfree. The Absol can do the last hit if need be. We're down to 1 heart, but we did survive that wave just barely. We're up to 41 stars, which is obviously nice. We've unlocked a new slot, but we are so far from actually unlocking the next slot. And then needing 300 for 1-3 just feels insurmountable right now. But I'm sure as we make progress, that'll become more and more of a possible reality. And I'm going to go ahead and take the loss as this Butterfree goes through, and that is okay. I feel pretty good about this. Lots of progress this episode. New Pokemon added to the roster and the box for safety in the future. And I still just have so much to learn, and I'm so excited to learn it. Thank you guys for watching another episode of PokePath TD. If you want to see more, you want to see this series continue, make sure to leave a like on it, subscribe, all that jazz, and just have a great day. I will hopefully see you guys in another episode of this amazing Pokemon fan-made game. I can't recommend it. There should be a link in the description. If you aren't playing on the side, what are you doing? I'll see you guys later, but for now, peace, Areno. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here. I wanted to take this second to say thank you so much for watching the entire video. It is thanks to people like you I'm able to make the content that I do, as well as everybody whose name is listed here. That's it for me. Have a fantastic day.